Getting married just to lose your virginity has to lead to the wildest post-nut clarity. Well, as someone who was raised Mormon, that's pretty much what we all did. Usually very disappointing. Damn, I've never thought about that. This is an excellent shower thought. X2OB. X2OB. What a terrible way to live. If you find the right person, I bet it would be a pleasant clarity. Definitely not a reason to get married, but not necessarily unpleasant, I guess. At a wedding right now, probably leads to many disappointments. I will always remember Steven Crowder for being unspeakably smug about not having had sex with his wife before they got married. Finally, this is a fucking shower thought, people. I told my co-worker I was going skydiving Labor Day weekend, and he asked how many feet I was diving from. That joke clearly was a big step for you. Great leg work. You go, girl. Oh, that is perfect. What was his reaction? Did he roll his eyes? Did he laugh? Or did he just shake your hand? Congratulations, you are now a dad. Great job, head pats. This joke is feet ahead. What does Geronimo say when he jumps for a skydive? Me? I'm not a dad, but my heart is swelling with pride for you. What was his reaction? Please stop, I can only be so roused. You wear dad pants well. Go wash the car and then have a cigar and a neat glass of Buffalo Trace. My grandfather told me this one not long before he died. My grandfather told me this one not long before he's shaking the ladder. Well, that's a fine old-fashioned grandfather. That's a great grandfatherly joke. My grandfather's last words to me was, watch this. I'll never forget my grandfather's last words to me. Step oxygen. My grandfather's favorite joke, God rest his soul, and God forgive him for this. OCBF. Why can't the police put Jews in they eat lox? Get it? Lox har. I don't get it. Is it an Alzheimer's joke? Okay, that's a good one. But this reminded me of a TikTok with a man petting a fish in a pond and the fish is responding lovely to his pets. I wish I kept this, but it was amazing. TIL Jimmy Buffett saved Colin Just's life in 2014. So Jimmy Buffett is the reason and the only reason I am not currently with Scarlett Johansson. Damn you, Jimmy Buffett, I hope you never find your salt shaker. He also wrote a song about a cheeseburger. Jimmy Buffett was the man. So Buffet is the Batman of rich guys. Weekend Update is the only funny part left on SNL. So thank you, Jimmy Buffet. Turn put Margaritaville was a cautionary tale. Some heard it better than others. I'm pretty sure that was Coconut Pete. Isn't it such a wild coincidence that this Harvard alum rubs shoulders with Jimmy Buffett and has a cushy job on SNL? What? We domesticated the silk moth 5,000 years ago for sericulture. They lost their ability to fly, lack fear of predators, have lost native color pigments since camouflage is not useful as they only live in captivity. They're entirely dependent on humans for survival, including finding a mate. Cute little squiggly guys. Raised them as a kid as a science project. Stored the eggs in a small bottle in the fridge until mom noticed. Stripped the lower branches of the neighbor's mulberry trees for the mulberry leaves they like. Downside, you have to boil the cocoon to unwind the intact silk thread. Did that just once, but too cruel for me. To get much silk, you need to unwind a large number of cocoons. Was a great little science project. TIL in the 1920 USA Census, 99 of all men with the first name of Booker were black. Booker T. Washington inspired. The one is Booker DeWitt. Booker Bucka White delivering the blues like he's a goddamn freight train. Can you dig it, sucka? Zachary Comstock was black in this timeline, confirmed. In recent years, more than 40% of black girls were given names that weren't given to even one of the more than 100,000 white girls born in the state the same year. From this study about black-sounding names hurting resumes. Booker T and the MGs was the first thing I thought of. Return the girl and wipe away the debt. DeWitt? What about the MGs? Booker DeWitt bucking the trend again. T.A. Olive Aaron Mitchell. A man who tried to kill himself by running into a large fire at Burning Man in 2017. He was pulled from the fire and died several days later. Yes, he succeeded. The article says hours afterward, but maybe I'm just splitting hairs. I remember seeing the video of this. This guy ran fast and dived into a massive fire. Mental illness is sad. Another man did something similar in Utah, Chris Wallace. Video circulated of the man running and flipping into the burning effigy. Article says he died 2 hours later. Guy had a wife to SMH. Tried to. TAL that in the Victorian era, women wore crotchless panties and urinated in gravy boat-like vessels called bordelus. Pass me my gold-gilded piss boat, please. Aristocratic women. Bordelus pour de luz. Fast forward to Thanksgiving, Martha. Why aren't we using the antique gravy boat my mother gave us? Pass the gravy boat, wouldn't you please? Oh yes, thank you very much. Not just the Victorian, any era that had big dresses that could not be easily removed when nature. It's even a thing some women do on their wedding day now. Regency period according to it did say that it extended into the Victorian period, but really was talking about the early 18th century 1700s rather than the mid-1800s. TAL that the loudness of a howler monkey is relative to the size of its testicles. Researchers found that the smaller the testicles, the louder the monkey. Just like in my office. The muffler principle. Same thing with humans and trucks. In howler monkeys, the best males, signaled by their loudness, are selected for by the females, and therefore they don't need big testicles because they don't need to play the sperm competition game. The loudest, smaller testicle monkeys are the most fit and most attractive to females. The monkeys that aren't as attractive need more sperm and bigger testicles to make up for their inadequacy in attractiveness. Men are monkeys, just quoting my I was in the pool. TAL that when Andre the Giant passed away, there was no crematorium large enough in France, so his body had to be flown to America or lakes to get him out of the room. I think the originally plan was to take down some of the hotel wall, but it would have caused way too much damage to the hotel being he was on a higher floor. He did live in North Carolina and his ashes are scattered there, so he was going to America one way or another. A friend of mine has a cool pic of her and Andre hanging out on the set of Princess Bride. She was in the costume department. She said he was one of the nicest people she ever met, and that he could drink like no one she had ever seen. What can people know now in 10 minutes that will be useful for the rest of their lives? Life is too short to worry about things not in your eye. Would have realized that from a younger age. Do not throw water on a kitchen fire. Look up real interest rate and compound interest. Inflation happens every year. If you aren't getting raises that match it, you're getting a pay cut. Compound interest is the most powerful force in finance for individuals. The overall first is capturing sustainable competitive advantage. What is a sign in adulthood they were neglected as a child? In addition to what has already been apologizing for things that need no apologies. When they talk, they might be prone to fast talking because they are not used to someone listening to them or someone not talking over them. ETA while I'm currently at the top of this comment section, I just want to take the time to say how beautiful it is to see you all supporting each other in the comments. I hope everyone feels seen and heard tonight. Trouble in their relationships, often seeking out unavailable partners. Massive black spots in your memory, feeling completely disconnected from your parents. Looking back at what you do remember as if it was lived by someone else. Who is a celebrated famous person where everyone universally ignores the fact that they're factually a giant boss? Steven Tyler adopting his underage GF, impregnated her, tried to force her to abort. Then she mysteriously almost dies in a fire. Then he abandons not only her as his GF, but her as adopted dad, technically guardianship, I believe, but then goes on to trash her reputation and make fun of her. Steven Tyler is a pedopos and everyone seems to forget it because he sings some songs well. Karl Malone, he impregnated a 13-year-old and refused to pay child support despite being a millionaire. I mean, Chris Brown still has a career.